Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most haunting and psychologically complex horror films of the 21st century, The Babadook. On the surface, it's a terrifying creature feature, but peel back the layers, and you find a heart-wrenching story about grief, trauma, and motherhood. A common question that comes up is about the child, Samuel. Why is he so difficult? So monstrous? Is he just a classic horror movie kid, or is there something much deeper going on? Let's explore the real reason Samuel acts the way he does. First, let's set the stage. Amelia Vanek is a single mother, still drowning in grief, 7 years after her husband, Oscar, died in a car crash while driving her to the hospital to give birth to Samuel. This means Samuel's birthday is a permanent, painful reminder of Oscar's death. From day one, Samuel's existence is intrinsically linked with the most traumatic event of Amelia's life. This isn't just a sad backstory, it's the foundation of their entire dynamic. Amelia has never properly grieved. She can't even say her husband's name. Instead, her grief has festered, turning into resentment and depression, which she unconsciously directs at the one person who is a living symbol of her loss, her son. So, when we see Samuel acting out, it's crucial to understand he's not just a bad kid. He's a child living in an environment saturated with unprocessed grief and quiet hostility. Children are incredibly perceptive. They're like emotional sponges. Samuel can sense his mother's emotional distance, her exhaustion, and her underlying resentment, even if she never says it out loud. He knows, on some level, that he is a source of his mother's pain. This creates a profound sense of insecurity and anxiety in him. Think about his behaviors. He's constantly seeking attention, often in negative ways. He builds homemade weapons to fight imaginary monsters. He has intense violent outbursts. Why? Because he's terrified. He's trying to protect his mother from the monster he feels is always lurking. At first, this seems like a child's fantasy, but it's actually a manifestation of the unspoken tension in the house. The monster's real. It's the grief and depression that's consuming Amelia. Samuel is externalizing the internal emotional threat he feels. He is giving a name and a face to the invisible force that is hurting his mom and, by extension, himself. This is a common psychological phenomenon known as when a child can't comprehend complex emotions like a parent's depression, they might project that fear onto something tangible, like a monster under the bed or, in this case, the Babadook. Samuel's obsession with monsters, and his desperate need to be the hero who slays them, is his way of trying to control an uncontrollable situation. He's screaming, "I can fix this. I can protect you," to a mother who is emotionally unavailable to hear him. Furthermore, Samuel is profoundly lonely. We see him ostracized at school and at his cousin's birthday party. His behavior makes it impossible for him to form healthy friendships. But where did this behavior come from? It's a cycle. He acts out because he's anxious and seeking validation from his mother. His mother, exhausted and depressed, withdraws further. This lack of positive reinforcement at home means he doesn't know how to interact appropriately with others, leading to more social rejection, which in turn amplifies his anxiety and his monstrous behavior. He's trapped in a feedback loop of anxiety and rejection. When the Babadook book appears, it gives a physical form to everything Samuel has been feeling. The book's words, "You can't get rid of the Babadook," resonate with the permanence of the family's trauma. The Babadook itself becomes a shared delusion, but it's one that originates from Amelia's suppressed psyche. It's her grief, her anger, her exhaustion, and even her repressed death wish for her son, all brought to life. Samuel's initial recognition of the monster is him finally seeing the thing he's been fighting all along. He's been living with the Babadook, the specter of his mother's grief, his entire life. As Amelia becomes more possessed by the Babadook, her behavior towards Samuel becomes overtly monstrous. She verbally abuses him, threatens him, and at one point, comes terrifyingly close to harming him. During this phase, something interesting happens. Samuel's role shifts. He's no longer just the difficult child. He becomes the caregiver. He's the one who has to be strong. who has to tie his mother up to stop her from hurting herself or him. He's forced to parent his own parent. This is a concept known as parentification, where a child is forced into an adult role due to a parent's inability to cope. Samuel's monstrous energy, which was once chaotic and destructive, becomes focused and protective. He uses his knowledge of traps and weapons, not for imaginary monsters, but to save his mother from a very real one. The climax of the film is not just about defeating a monster. It's about confronting trauma. When Amelia finally screams at the Babadook, expelling it from her body, she is finally, for the first time, confronting her grief head-on. She is acknowledging the ugliest parts of her sorrow and rage. And who was right there by her side, holding her and comforting her? Samuel. He tells her, "It's all right, Mom. I love you." In that moment, he's not a monster. He is a loving, forgiving son. The ending is a powerful metaphor for managing mental illness and grief. They don't kill the Babadook. You can't just eliminate trauma. Instead, they lock it in the basement. They contain it. Amelia feeds it worms, acknowledging its existence but keeping it under control. It's a daily task, a ritual of care. And what happens to Samuel once this new balance is found? He's calm. He's happy. He's doing magic tricks for his mom, and they share a genuine, loving moment. The monster is gone because the source of his anxiety, his mother's unprocessed, all-consuming grief, is now being managed. He can finally just be a kid. So, the real reason Samuel is a monster has nothing to do with him being inherently evil or a bad seed. He is a product of his environment. He is a child reflecting the trauma, grief, and emotional neglect that defined his entire existence. His difficult behavior was a desperate, distorted cry for help and a reaction to a monster that was in his house long before a pop-up book gave it a name. The Babadook masterfully shows us that sometimes the most challenging children are simply the ones carrying the heaviest, most invisible burdens. They are not the problem. They are the symptom. Thanks so much for watching. What are your thoughts on Samuel's character? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more content. See you in the next video.